literally right at 8 a.m. Like you could not have timed that any better. Right at 8 a.m. Good morning, everybody. Tuesday, October 29th, 8 a.m. on the dot. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the Sliwa Show, episode number 21. By the way, they should just cancel the World Series. There's no point in watching the World Series. I might tonight. World Series game number 4, Dodgers and the Yankees. I might as well watch the Wizards and the Pistons. That might be a more exciting game, regular season game, than the World Series. The Dodgers absolutely demolishing and ripping the soul out of the New York Yankees so far in the World Series. I don't think that's going to change very much. Maybe it goes 5, but it could also end tonight. We got a lot to get into. I appreciate you guys hanging out here. Lakers with a loss yesterday against the Phoenix Suns. Did the post-game show right here. It's their first loss of the season. Couple things I want to point on in that. JJ Redick has kind of taken the blame for the loss. Obviously, full coverage. We'll talk about the entire series. Dodgers and the Yankees. Walker Buehler just brilliant. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I got some quotes here from some of the different players talking about him and his contributions and in big moments, what he's able to do, the confidence that they have in him. Look back a little bit, Freddie Freeman, what he's done so far. So we'll spend some time on that as well. Got a couple random side stories that I'll get into. I think I've told you guys this before. If you guys look, that's not just for display. Those 2 boxing gloves. I mean, part of it is for display because, that's kind of what I do. But I think I mentioned to you guys, I joined this membership down the street. It's called the Boxing Club, and I took one of their classes. Yes, so what am I, in the military? What the hell is going on in that class? What's going on? I joined the Navy SEALs. I was just laughing here, like my body can't do this. And then later today, look, Tuesday, Thursday. I just want everybody to know, Tuesday, Thursday, we do sales calls. Tuesday, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. we do sales calls. I had to kind of like put that back into my life of how exactly that I do those and when I do them. So I'll be doing that. Kind of give you guys a little background there. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Let's see what some of these comments got here today. Yep, blocked as well. My people. All right, here, bring the broom. Let me tell you guys something. If you're a Dodger fan this morning, you got to be feeling pretty damn good about your situation. The Dodgers 1 game away from a World Series. And I know a lot of Dodger fans that are either on this channel or, I've interacted with in the past. What a run. Let's just get actually right into it. This hasn't even been close. This World Series so far has not even been close. When I'm part of me is joking around when I'm talking about there's nothing to do tonight. Like, why watch the game? You already know what the result's going to be. And even if the Yankees make it, take it to 5 games or something like that. But what the Dodgers have been able to do to the Yankees, complete domination. Sometimes I'll listen to both sides of it. I like doing it, actually, especially in postseason play. I'll listen to some post-game reaction from the Dodgers network or people that put on a Dodgers post-game show. And then I'll listen to the other side as well and listen to a Yankee broadcast or a Yankee news organization or a radio talent in New York that's breaking down the Yankees losing. And if you listen to the other side, it will tell you everything. If you listen to the other side, I mean, listening Mike Francesa, I can never pronounce his last name. Mike Francesa, if I say it right. He's one of the pioneers in sports talk radio. Has been around for a long time. Has been kind of a staple of New York for years. I'm talking years. I think in the mid 90s is when he was as big as he was. But anyways, long story short, he still does some work, and it's on like a completely different network. It's only on YouTube. And he was breaking down the game and just listening to the tone of his voice. I don't think, I know he probably wants the Yankees to win, but he's also been in the business for so long. He's probably not, I don't know how much sleep he's losing if the Yankees win or they don't win. But listening to him break down just the voice, his voice, it was like almost like a funeral. He had no answer. Nobody from the Yankees organization has any answer of what to do with the Los Angeles Dodgers. When I say they have ripped the soul out of the Yankees, I mean, you didn't have to get through the first inning yesterday before you're looking at the score and a Yankee fan that said, you know what, I'm going to go grab a beer and some peanuts, and then I'm going to sit down, I'm going to enjoy this game, and I'm going to see if my team can get back into the series before that individual who probably paid at least a G for his tickets, sat down at Yankee Stadium. He looks up and they're already down 2-0. There's nothing to cheer about. This is what the Dodgers have done basically since they were down 2-1 against the Padres in that first round. They have demoralized teams. They have took the soul out of teams. They've given you no hope. They've made you think that, hey, if you have a chance or if you have an opportunity, yeah, that opportunity isn't going to last long. That's what the Dodgers have done. They're better than the New York Yankees in every single aspect that you can think of. Fielding, they're better. Small ball, they're better. Clutch situations, clutch opportunities, they're better. Pitching-wise, starting pitching, their bullpen, they're better. They're just the best team in baseball, and there's no other way to really describe it. AL, I think what we're also finding out here, the American League just was not nearly as good as the NL. And I could probably pick 3 or 4 teams that are better than the Yankees. And maybe I'm wrong on this, but Philadelphia in a 7-game set, I would take the Phillies. Padres in a 7-game set, probably a really good series. Maybe it leans towards the Padres. Mets probably give the New York Yankees a ton of trouble as well. But the Dodgers are just dismantling the New York Yankees, dismantling them. Every aspect of the game, they're dismantling them. And I don't want to do it right now, but I'm going to go back. This series really did come down to one pitch. And that one pitch was either going to give the Yankees an opportunity to be in this series or it wasn't going to be a series at all. I think you guys know what I'm talking about, but I'll do that in just a second because I want to talk a little bit about yesterday's game and then and I want to talk about Walker Buehler and then we go from there. But it's just not a series. I mean, the longer – if this series was – this is a best of 7 set, make it best of 11, and Dodgers probably go 9-2 against the Yankees, at worst 8-3. They're just better. You know, there was a time here where coming into the series, everybody was talking about if there's an advantage that the Yankees have on the Dodgers, it's got to be starting pitching. Starting pitching. I'm not telling you the Yankees are coming into every game and they're giving up 6 or 7 runs, but hasn't even been close. You had Jack Flaherty in game 1, 5 1/3 innings. He gives up 2 earned runs. Yoshinobu Yamamoto in game 2 goes 6 1/3 innings, gives up 1 earned run. And Walker Buehler, I'll get into in just a second, pitched 5 innings and didn't give up a run. The starting pitching for the Dodgers in these first 3 games have given up 3 total earned runs. And if your advantage was supposed to be starting pitching, you've got dominated on that front, starting pitching. And this is a Dodgers team that you're kind of figuring out walking into the playoffs. This was supposed to be their weakest point. Their weakest point was supposed to be, guys, listen, they just don't have the strong. I don't know what Jack Flaherty is going to give them. I don't know. Yamamoto had only had 4 starts coming into the postseason because he was out for X amount of months. Walker Buehler, you can't depend on. What are you talking about, Walker Buehler? Why would Walker Buehler be a part of the conversation? They're going to have bullpen games. That was the conversation walking into the playoffs. They've almost been unhittable. And not just the starting pitching, but the bullpen, a lot of these high leverage relievers. Dave Roberts has pulled every string. Listen, has Blake Trinan had some games where there's a lot of traffic and he ends up throwing 30 pitches an inning? Yeah, he has, but who cares? Did they win or did he get out of the inning or did he not? What did Kopech give up a 2-run homer yesterday? He did in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th with 2 outs, but they had a 4-run lead. So has it been perfect? No, but it's been pretty damn close. So just give the Dodgers. I think there's times. This actually another thing. When I was listening to that Yankees post game stuff. I think there was just this realization of, yeah, they're just better. And that's what the Dodgers are. If you want me to simplify this, and I know the standings kind of speak for itself, or the series speaks for itself. At the end of the day, you look at these two squads. One team is playing as good as baseball as they ever had all season long, and they're in a stretch right now over these last couple of weeks where the Dodgers just seem like nobody's got a shot against them. And even if they lose a game, they still find a way to be in it, or they just make it even if you beat the Dodgers, they make it very complicated. And you're looking at a Yankees team that from the top of that lineup all the way to the bottom of the order, they're just more and more demoralizing with each at bat. Okay, Soto's going to have some good nights. Uh, it's Juan Soto. That's fine. Stanton's going to have a couple of hits. Sure, that's fine. Aaron Judge looks like a shell of himself. He looks demoralized, and I feel like that's kind of what's happened to the New York Yankees so far. Okay, before I get into Walker Buehler, let me just take a quick look here at everybody and see what the heck everybody is doing here. Here's what we got here. Mike Lopez, a broadcast voice from the Yanks, have no tune even when Verdugo hit a home run. Normally that guy says see ya, and he makes it annoying. Yankees win. I think everybody just knows it. I think there is a kind of a thought process and a feeling right now where you just kind of know that your team is going to lose, or they know that their team is going to lose, and it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I read this in a couple different articles. Could someone confirm crowd was saying "F you, Freeman" right before the home run? Yeah, I there were a couple articles I read. I was reading a lot of different stuff from the LA Times. A lot of different, Plashke had an article. A couple of the different guys. I'm actually going to find one of the other ones. Who else? Anyways, there was a few of them that had some articles out there. I was reading one was on Walker Buehler. That was from Jack Harris. And yes, at least from what I read, it sounded like that's what they were that's what they were chanting. All right, see what else we got here. Most popular team in LA, Lakers. I've always thought it was the Lakers, but I mean, somebody can make a case out there and say that it's the Dodgers. All right, here, let's see what else we got here. Slee, you think the Padres or the Mets could beat the Yankees? Way the Mets are playing, or the way the Yankees are playing right now. Again, I'll say this. I mean, I think this is just kind of clearly showing how tough the NL was. That if you could get out of the NL, then you put yourself in a really, really, really good spot to win a World Series. And the Dodgers did that. Look, their backs were against the wall. It's been a combination of a couple different things, right? They've had the issue with, for years now, they've had the issue of, can they get over the hump? Can they just get out of the first round and start building some momentum? And it's funny, every time Travis and I, when we do our show together, we would talk about, it's like, if they could just build some momentum, then they become the most dangerous team in baseball. But in baseball, you can also go through a streak where you're not playing your best ball for a couple of weeks when another team, everything is going their way. The Dodgers have had that ball started rolling down the hill, and that momentum after every single game, or let me kind of minimize it here, after every pitch, after every hit, after every home run, after every inning, it just feels like that momentum is getting stronger and stronger. It's getting bigger and bigger, and there's just no stopping the Dodgers. And I think that's what they were missing these last couple of years. They couldn't put themselves in a position where that momentum was going to be as strong as it is now, and now they look unstoppable. That's the best way that I can put it. All right, I'm going to start getting on Walker Buehler here in just a second. Real quick from Kevin Brown. I appreciate the super. Fat Joe to the Yankees, what the Kardashians are to NBA players. Okay. All right. Didn't see that perspective coming in, but thank you for the super there and that perspective. Walker Buehler. Let's talk about Walker Buehler here for a quick second. I think there's a number of things that stick out to me for Walker Buehler. I was reading an article this morning, and one of the things that I think really stood out to me, um, Mookie Betts. Here's a quote from him. "This is the real Walker Buehler." Okay. Here's another quote from Dave Roberts. "Guys like him, you could essentially throw away the regular season and know what you're going to get, the best of them from the postseason." All right, here's another quote. I want to read a couple of these guys because I think each of them were giving a perspective of what they thought of Walker Buehler before this game started. So let me find the other one here that I have. Kike. "He can have a 10 ERA during the regular season, but come October, he's going to show up." Gavin Lux, "I don't think you should be surprised in a big game that Walker Buehler shows up and does what he does." I like reading it from some of the other players because I think they're going to give the perspective of their confidence level in a certain pitcher or a certain player. A lot of your peers, how do they feel about you? A lot of your peers, what's the, how do they view you in big situations or big moments? Every quote that I could read from a lot of these players was basically like, guys, this is Walker Buehler. This is what he does. This is what he does in October. Walker Buehler last night did not give up a run. Have a little bit of traffic. Yeah, Stan got thrown out the plate. Teoscar Hernandez threw basically a perfect ball, and Stanton and I basically run the 40 at the same time, which is not a good thing. Certain players like high leverage situations. Certain players like big moments. And Walker Buehler is one of those players. I'm going to read a quote here from Walker Buehler, and then I got some stats here to kind of talk a little bit about what this guy does during the postseason. By the way, just a reminder here, top of the morning, by the way. This could be the last game that Walker Buehler ever pitches for the Los Angeles Dodgers was last night. And I think that I would say that's more likely that that's the last game that Walker Buehler will ever pitch for the Dodgers for a couple of reasons. Number one, it'd have to go game 7 for him to pitch again. It ain't going game 7. The Yankees aren't all of a sudden going to wake up and become this unbelievable team. They already look defeated, and the Dodgers they got a little bit of taste of, potentially a World Series, and I think they're going to step on their throats, whether that's tonight or that's tomorrow. I don't think it's coming back to LA. But that could be the last performance that Walker Buehler ever pitches for the Dodgers. Do I think they're going to re-sign him in the offseason? Probably not. Do I think he's going to go try to get paid? Probably. Why wouldn't he? He's had 2 Tommy Johns, and he has he'll have 2 World Series under his belt, and he'll be known for a pitcher that is at his best during the most stressful moments. Is that not the best trait to have in sports? Yeah, the bigger the moment is, the better I am. It's like, what else would you rather have? And that's Walker Buehler in a nutshell. Here's what Walker Buehler said, and I think this is what I'm talking about. There's certain players that like moments, kind of a special DNA. He says, that feeling, there's an organization relying on me today to win a playoff game. I think it's kind of the weight that I like feeling and gets me in a certain place mentally that is kind of hard to replicate. Basically, what he's saying is everyone's looking at him. All the weight is on his shoulders. That's when he's at his best. Where there's a lot of times in sports, or there's a lot of times in life, it's like all the pressure's on you. Everybody's looking at you, and you cave, or maybe you choke, or you you end up striking out when all you need to do is move a runner over, or you end up shooting that free throw a little bit short because everybody's looking at you. That ain't Walker Buehler. You guys know this. Walker Buehler has, if you guys remember the game in the NLDS game in San Diego, he has not given up a run since that 2-run homer by Tatis, which feels like it was 3 months ago. He's not given up a run. So he's gone 12 straight innings without giving up a run in the postseason. Walker Buehler, not Garrett Cole, not Yamamoto, not Chris Sale, not Walker Buehler, the guy that during the season basically left the Dodgers organization to go try to figure out some of his stuff. The guy that nobody had confidence in, including myself, and I'm sure a lot of Dodger fans out there had no confidence in that this guy was going to make an impact in the playoffs. He's gone 12 straight innings of not giving up a run in the postseason. He's had 3 World Series starts, has given up 1 run total. He's had 18 postseason starts. His ERA is just over 3. There are certain players that are clutch. There are certain players that like the big moments. Walker Buehler is one of those players. So give that man a ton of credit for what he was able to do for the Dodgers yesterday. And I know a lot of Dodger fans already associate winning with Walker Buehler because of what he's been in his past. A youngster that came through the organization and has just he's always been clutch and he's always liked the moments. But after 2 Tommy Johns, after trying to figure out, I thought it was interesting. You know, he was explaining yesterday during the post game. He's on there with Fox, and it's A-Rod, Ortiz, it's Jeter, and they're all sitting there talking. And he talked about how obviously his velocity is down, but growing up watching the game of baseball, there's a certain style of how the game was played. And the way the game was played, it wasn't all about trying to throw 99 or 100 to just overpower another hitter. It was more about pitching. It was more about the chess match that's there. And he said that it's kind of forced him to go back to pitching the way he grew up, the way he watched baseball. And he certainly have had a tremendous amount of success. And I think of all the storylines that you could think about during this Dodgers run, Walker Buehler is as big of a storyline as anybody. He really is, because I don't think anybody expected much from Walker Buehler coming into the playoffs. Why would you? I know he had a pretty good start to end the season, but you're still kind of thinking, all right, well, at some point it's going to go back to what it was. But since that bad inning that he had, I think it was the second inning down in San Diego, which wasn't all on his back. I mean, you can make not excuses. You want to call them excuses. Rojas didn't have a sharp defensive play. Freddie Freeman didn't have a sharp defensive play, but he still got tagged for 6 runs that inning. Since that moment, game 2, Dodgers and the Padres, he's been incredible, and he's got a big reason to do with why the Dodgers are up 3-0. I know he only pitches once every couple of days here, but I still think what he's able to do is pretty incredible. Okay, let's see what we got here. Buehler is a dog. Did you hear what he said? Doesn't really care about the regular season, that he likes pitching in the cold. That told me he's looking to move east. I just wish Buehler the best. Well, I think there's a couple things here. I can't remember who said it. I can't remember who said it, but there was somebody talking. It might have been just the broadcast yesterday. I can't remember if it was post game, if it was not, but there was something about, a lot of these pitchers don't like pitching in the cold, and Walker Buehler's like, nah, I'm good with it. I'll take that. That's just different breed. I mean, that's the best way that I can put it. I think he's got, I'm sure he's got, a tremendous, tremendous amount of respect from so many of these people that either cheer for the Dodgers or just respect. I mean, hell, listen, I'm not a Dodger fan. I got respect for the guy. I'm well aware of what his story is. I'm well aware that this guy's on a contract year and was having so much trouble during the regular season. It's like, you can't throw this guy out there. Well, there goes his contract, his big contract that he was probably waiting for. And now all of a sudden, you're looking at this guy and it's like, no, some team's going to give him at least a couple of years and some pretty good money, and he's earned it. If you want this guy to earn it during the regular season, okay, that's one thing. But if he goes on the right team in the right situation and they're competing for something, Walker Buehler he's changed whatever and by the way, Walker Buehler didn't do anything wrong. He just had 2 Tommy John surgeries. That's been kind of one of the question marks in all baseball. You got so many of these pitchers, especially the Dodgers, that have had so many different pitchers over the years that have run into issues with their arms. Walker Buehler's just been another casualty, unfortunately, but his story is going to be different, because if that's the last game he ever pitches for the Dodgers, and this is how it kind of all pans out for him, I mean, there's the icing on the cake. Guy's about to get another World Series, and he had a big part to do with it. He wasn't just along for the ride. Dodgers not interested in Soto. That was put out by Scott Boras to up the ante. I think he's going to want to stay in. I think he's going to want to stay in the East Coast. That was a lot of the conversation when I think part of the reason why the Padres traded him was because they eventually thought he wanted to be in the East Coast. And listen, if the Yankees go after him, and I think we all saw some of that footage when he was in was the All-Star game, and it felt like the Dodgers and Juan Soto and some of the players, it was like flirting with each other. I'm like, you guys don't need any more talent. All right. But I do have a feeling that he would stay on the East Coast. I do have a feeling he would stay there. That was a lot of the vibe that a lot of people were getting, was that that he would stay on the East Coast. Okay, let's look at one more thing here, and then I want to talk Freddie Freeman here. Soto is staying in New York, Yanks or Mets. I agree with you. I agree. I agree staying on the East Coast. No matter what, I feel like he's going to stay on the East Coast. Jeter last night gave the Dodgers their flowers. Listen, if somebody is not giving the Dodgers credit for this playoff run, then it's tough to take your opinion and to take it seriously. So if Derek Jeter, who's on the broadcast for Fox doing the pre and the post, if this man can't give his flowers to the Dodgers, listen, I mean, I don't even have a difficult time giving them their flowers. How do you not give them their flowers? The Dodgers have been incredible in the postseason. Incredible. Like I said, since they were down 2-1, they have, in the first round, they basically played flawless baseball, and it's not one person. I mean, Shohei hasn't really impacted the series at all in the World Series. It's not like it's just Freddie Freeman. It's just Freddie Freeman's doing what he's doing now. Freddie Freeman was hobbling around for the first 2 rounds. Tommy Edman won the NLCS MVP. I just named Yamamoto and Walker Buehler, and the bullpen. Kike Hernandez has had moments. Teoscar Hernandez. That's how you win a World Series. And if you can't give credit, then you're not trying to give credit. You're really going out of your way to not give credit. And sometimes that's where I'm at my best, is when I'm not giving credit. You know what I mean? No, but what I will say is, at the end of the day, and Jeter is a terrible example here. If you're somebody who's on the damn broadcast, you better be giving credit. Because I don't really know what you could say negatively about the Dodgers. Okay, let me play something for you guys here. Let me screen share this here real quick with everybody. All right, what do we got here? Okay, got that shared. All right. Freddie Freeman, take a quick listen. This is last night.
1-2. Freeman drives one. Deep right field. And gone. Another World Series home run for Freddie Freeman. And 3 hitters into this game. The Dodgers lead 2-0. He's hit a home run in 5 straight World Series games. We might have ourselves a new Mr. October.
I think he's here. And it's
who's a pretty good baseball player? Freddie Freeman's not a bad baseball player. I wouldn't be surprised if Freddie Freeman gets called up one of these times and makes it to the major leagues. Did you hear what they just said on that broadcast? And I think everybody knows it now. He has hit a home run in 5 straight World Series games. This is the same dude that was hobbling around for the first 2 rounds of the playoffs and then got this just kind of gift, because Major League Baseball, by the time they wrapped it up with the Mets, there was about a week off, a little bit less than a week. I want to say it's 5 days, maybe 6 at the most. But Dodgers, they wrap it up on a Sunday, and then I think it started on a Friday, something like that. Maybe it was a Saturday, and then whatever the case was, Freddie Freeman had time to work on his ankle. Freddie Freeman had time to get healthy. And in that time, Freddie Freeman has homered in 3 straight games, had a triple, has been incredibly impactful. They were throwing up numbers yesterday during the broadcast. They had both games. I had both games going on. So I had the World Series game going on one end. And then I had the Lakers and the Suns on the other TV. And clearly the Lakers and the Suns was a more important game last night. I want to emphasize this to everybody. If you thought that was an important game yesterday, the World Series, I would tell you that the Lakers-Suns game 4 of the regular season, that one was more important. Did you see the standings? What happened to the Lakers when they lost that game yesterday? Guys, come on. Come on here. Freddie Freeman has been incredible. I want to just say this because I think I could sum up this series in 1 second or in one sentence. The series ended when Freddie Freeman hit that grand slam. And anything that's happened since then just kind of talks about his greatness and the momentum that the Dodgers started building. But Dodgers were down in game 1. They were out hit in game 1. And I truly think you can just sum up this season and you could sum up this World Series on one pitch when Freddie Freeman came in on a Friday night at Dodger Stadium in game 1 of the World Series against the New York Yankees with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the 10th inning, and the Dodgers are down 3-2. Freddie Freeman's grand slam was the series. It was the series. If you think that, sometimes in sports we look at things. It's not just did you win or did you lose. How did you win or how did you lose? So let me kind of explain, what I mean by that. If the Dodgers, let's say the Dodgers won game 1 and the final score was 4-2, and it was a little bit back and forth, but nothing dramatic happened. Dodgers scored a couple of runs, Yankees responded, but then the Dodgers in the 7th and 8th, added another run or so, and that's how the game ended. Nothing too dramatic. It was just a well-played baseball game from both teams. I don't think that win leaks into the next game. The way Freddie Freeman won game 1 of the World Series in that fashion, walk-off home run, everyone starts pointing to 1988. Everybody starts, hey, this is, that looks eerily similar. You know what? Freddie Freeman has an ankle injury. You know what? Freddie Freeman has dealt with personal stuff in his life with his son and his family. There was so much emotion to it, drama to it, storyline to it. It's how you lose sometimes that could be the difference of whether you won a series or lost a series. This World Series will be remembered by one pitch. It will be remembered in that 10th inning when Freddie Freeman hit a grand slam, held his bat, dropped it, flexed on his way to third. That's what it will be remembered for. And anything else that happens, you can talk about it. We could sit here and we could say this happened in the World Series and, Aaron Judge struggled, or Walker Buehler had a really good game 3, or Yamamoto was lights out in game 2. You can do all that. There's other storylines that come with it. But at the end of the day, this World Series will be remembered because of what Freddie Freeman did in game 1. And what Freddie Freeman has done since then, he's been incredible. Last night, I mentioned this, that it was just another example where when I say the soul was ripped out of a player or the soul was ripped out of a team or a fan base, Freddie Freeman has now done that 3 different times. In game 1 and game 3, more impactful because what was he? It was back-to-back home runs in game 2, but Teoscar had the 2-run homer. But the series will be remembered because of Freddie Freeman, and he will win World Series MVP because of that. He's hit 5 homers in 5 straight games, like I said, in the World Series. And he's done it with a hobbled ankle the entire time. Okay, a couple more of these, and then we're going to get into some Laker stuff. Slee spitting facts. I got facts, guys. I got facts. The flex, yes, the flex. That one of the colder moments that I've ever seen. Can I tell you something? Let me tell you what I think is typically. Somebody can run their mouth, and that's fine. It's all good. Somebody could constantly, flex or do this or whatever. But the more that person does it, it kind of loses its strength. When Freddie Freeman hits the grand slam and the guy is not much of a, he's just not one of those types of people or one of those types of players where he's like, he wants to rub it in or anything like that. That's just not his personality. When those types of dudes do that, it just comes off a different way, right? Like it just comes off completely different. When he held his bat and dropped it, it's like, yeah, that's cold. When he flexed rounding third or rounding second before he got to third, yeah, that's a cold moment. And Freddie Freeman has had those moments now for pretty much this entire World Series. All right, a couple more things, a couple more that I'm going to read here, and then we'll get. Let me see what else we got here. Judge is MIA. Yeah, I don't even know. Judge should just. I don't know where that guy vacations, but he should get off to an early start here. Freeman did the Statue of Liberty post after hitting the grand slam. Yeah. Somebody's throwing here, I'm sick of Reeves. I don't know where Reeves came into play, but somebody's already sick of Reeves. All right, let's see here. Yep, Freddie, 5 homers. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised it goes 5. I wouldn't be surprised it goes 5. Like, to get swept, that's really, really difficult to do, but I don't think the Dodgers are in any jeopardy of losing this series. I know it's never happened before in the World Series. Okay, I'll go back to that Yankees postgame that I was listening to. They were talking about, look, it's only happened one time. It's happened to the Yankees where a team was up 3-0 and then lost. It was against the Boston Red Sox. But the way they were explaining it, it's like that will never happen again. That predicament, that situation, Yankees were running out of pitching for game 6 and 7. It will never happen again. So I don't think it will happen, and I don't think the Dodgers have anything to worry about. Dodgers lights out today, Dodgers in 4. All right, can we talk some Lakers basketball? Talk a little Lakers basketball. I'll get back to the Dodgers here. Foot on the gas. Yeah, you guys, I'm not going. I don't have to take that invitation away. Ain't nobody going. Okay, so couple things here. Lakers lose their first game of the regular season yesterday. They lost to the Phoenix Suns. All right, world's not going to end. I don't think, if you're super frustrated about that loss yesterday, Lakers lost 109-105. I don't think the world's going to end. I don't think anybody has to sit here and start saying, what the hell are we doing? What's this organization doing? I will say this. There were a couple of things that happened yesterday that I think are I'm be interested what the Lakers do as far as what their adjustments are going to be moving forward. So 109-105 the final score. Suns over the Lakers. Suns now 3-1. Lakers now 3-1. Listen, if you'd have told me through the first 4 games, Lakers are 3-1, I'm taking it. All good, no problem. I think the thing that was frustrating yesterday, there was a couple of things that were frustrating. First off, you can't have a quarter like the Lakers did in the second quarter. They scored 14 points in the second quarter. They got outscored 25-14. They had a 26-8 lead and lost that lead basically by the time you got to halftime. That lead was gone. I think the Lakers, by the time you got to halftime, I think the Lakers were down a point, if I'm right, maybe down 2 points, something like that. So the point that I'm trying to make is runs happen in the NBA, but how the run happened for the Lakers, I wasn't a fan of. And I'll tell you what I mean by this. By the way, JJ Redick took a lot of the blame for the loss. I got to be honest with you. I kind of agree with him. I think there was some stuff on the coaching side of things, which you ain't going to coach flawless. There's certain things you're going to do that are going to backfire. There's mistakes that you're going to make. That happens. That comes with the territory. But I thought a couple things yesterday that I thought were interesting. You know why the Lakers, they went up 26-8. Anthony Davis was incredible in that first quarter. He had 16 points. And then 9 minutes into the game, so there's 3 minutes left in the first quarter, Anthony Davis has to go take a break. This is part of when he gets subbed out and he needs to go get a breather, and he goes from there. So that's what happened. Nothing crazy. It was time for him to go get some wind, to go get a breather. Once Anthony Davis left the game, it was like the Lakers basically had no idea what the hell to do. And it just kind of shows more and more the value of what Anthony Davis is to the Lakers. The Lakers had no idea what the hell to do when Anthony Davis subbed out of the game. And that's the part that, I think the Lakers are going to have to figure out. This is going to be a major, major issue for the Lakers as the season progresses. Anthony Davis has been incredible. I mean, through the first 4 games of the season, he was Western Conference Player of the Week. He's been I haven't been watching all the other teams, but he's been probably the best player in the NBA and in the world over the first week. You don't play 4 games to dictate, who's the best player. Obviously, that's determined through 82 games. But Anthony Davis has been incredible through the first couple of games of the season. They had no idea what to do the moment he checked out. All right, Anthony Davis played 36 minutes yesterday. I mean, AD is going to have time where he has rest. He's going to have stretches of 4 or 5 minutes, 6 minutes where during a game, I think the way the Lakers do it right now, it seems like end of the first quarter, the last 3 minutes, AD comes out. First 3 minutes of the second quarter, AD is out. So he kind of plays 9 and 9. That's how they did it in the first half. He ended up playing 36 minutes, so about 12 minutes that he sat. Now, I'm going to read something here for you. This is from JJ Redick, and then I want to play something from JJ Redick on the end of the game. He said, talk about we should never have a 14-point quarter, so that's on me as well. Part of that is me. I got to make sure we're running good offense. I felt like it was a little random. We got stalled out. We talked about a halftime. For us to be a high-level offense, we got to move bodies, and we got to move the ball. They got a screen. Okay, he goes on to say other things. I was saying this. I did the post-game show yesterday, obviously here on Hoops Talk, little Lakers post-game show action. That's the first thing that I said. I'm like, look, in the second quarter, and this is the part that was more concerning for me. Bron did not have a good game yesterday. He really struggled from the field. He looked incredibly tired. All right, that's going to happen. He's 39 years old. He's about to turn 40. He's played 3 games in 4 nights. That Bron's not going to look fresh probably, and this is him coming off that triple-double. He's not going to look fresh 3 games out of 4 nights. My problem was Bron was just forcing shots. My problem was JJ Redick wasn't telling the guys, we can't just depend on LeBron here. I need D'Lo to get involved. I need Reeves to get involved. Rui was sitting with Anthony Davis. I didn't like that at all. I think they need Rui as a weapon there during those situations. I don't think you could take both of those guys out. My point is that if the Lakers start playing hero ball when Anthony Davis is on the bench, they're screwed in those minutes that Anthony Davis is out. If LeBron starts deciding, and especially if his shot's not falling, well, I'll just try to take the ball to the basket or I'll just rely on jumpers. Well, if LeBron, like last night, what do you go? 3-14 from the field, minus 17 in the plus minus. By the way, every other starter was a plus or 0 was the worst. Anthony Davis was a plus 14. Rui was a plus 20. Austin Reeves was a plus 12. That's not winning basketball. So one of 2 things have to happen. Either JJ Redick has to figure out his rotations and come up with a lineup that obviously doesn't just crater when Anthony Davis is out there. That's number 1. Or the second thing is they have to, I mean, if you're relying on LeBron James to just take over games in game 4 of the regular season, that's not sustainable, nor do I think it's smart. That's the one thing that I kind of took away from yesterday's game more than anything else. Anthony Davis can't play 48 minutes. So what are you going to do in those minutes when Anthony Davis is not there? That's going to be key. That's going to be important. That's obviously going to be something that everybody talks about. You cannot rely on Anthony Davis for 48 minutes. And if Bron is in there with a crew, with 4 other dudes, run an offense. Have something in mind. I think they were using Jackson Hayes. What's Jackson Hayes going to do with LeBron James? Jackson Hayes is he's going to roll to the basket. He's going to get a couple buckets here and there, but they scored 14 points in that second quarter because A, they weren't running an offense, and B, the ball was in LeBron's hands and Anthony Davis was on the bench and they were trying to rely on that. That's not a winning plan, in my opinion. And again, let's as great as we've seen LeBron, and against Sacramento, he had a triple-double, I think 34, 12, and 10, whatever it was. I don't know the numbers, maybe 32, 12, and 10. Whatever the numbers were, that's not going to happen every night. And you cannot depend on that. And if you're going to depend on that, it's going to hurt you. All right, let's take a look at a couple of these comments here. AD, LeBron, Reeves, Rui in that order. Someone needs to tell Bron to swing the ball. Just run an offense. Just run an offense. That's why we need a number 2 dude to step up. Yeah, listen, this is in my opinion, it's kind of a good thing when things like this start happening. Somebody's putting here, Dalton Connect. Where was he? Yeah, Dalton Connect was. You know what? You know what happened yesterday? The Phoenix Suns decided, yeah, we're going to go ahead and not let this guy shoot the ball. We're going to go ahead and guard this guy and just make him drive the ball to the basket, deny him the ball. Connect kind of didn't know what to do. All these are going to be learning experiences for a lot of these players. So, I do think that there's a solution to all this. It just wasn't yesterday. All right. LeBron was sick. Okay. All right. Let me play something here. End of the game yesterday. I do like this. JJ Redick kind of put a lot of that game on his shoulders yesterday. A couple things happened at the end of the game yesterday that I thought were interesting decisions. Here's one of them. Lakers were down 3, about 40 seconds left to go, a little bit more than 40 seconds left to go. And usually in that situation, a lot of coaches and a lot of players, a lot of teams, they go 2 for 1. Basically, 2 for 1 means is we're not going to take a 3 right now. There's still plenty of time left in the game. Let's just get a bucket. Let's get 2 points. We'll play the foul game if we need to, or we're going to try to get a stop because there's that much time left. And then we'll try to get the ball back. Either way, there's enough time. There's enough possessions left. We don't have to take a 3 in this situation. That's not what the Lakers did. They drew up a play for Austin Reeves. Now, Reeves had hit 5 threes coming into it. So I don't mind them drawing a play up for Austin Reeves, kind of using LeBron, Anthony Davis a little bit as a decoy. I think all good coaches, that's what they do. They don't just go to their star player at the end of games. They draw up plays for other players as well. But with that in mind, I just didn't understand why you're going for a 3 with 40 seconds left. Why not just try to get the 2, play a little bit of the foul game, or you just go get a stop on the other end? I wasn't a big fan of that. The other question was about Lakers down 3, LeBron with the ball. He gets fouled, about 7-8 seconds left. There was not a timeout. JJ Redick's got to save a timeout there, and he didn't have a timeout. But you got to save a timeout there towards the end of the game. Here is kind of the strategy of what the Lakers had. Basically, the idea was they were going to miss a free throw on purpose. Let me play this from JJ Redick real quick so you guys can take a listen of what the strategy was. Take a listen here to JJ Redick.
Potential missed free throw. What was your vantage point of that? And is that something in your short amount of time you guys been together you've been able to ever do in a practice or anything?
We communicated that. Yeah. So everybody that was on the floor knew what was happening, and it was an insane miss, to be honest with you. I don't know that I've ever seen an intentional miss that hit the bottom of the rim and then went straight down.
Potential missed free throw. What was your...
So that's JJ Redick talking about that final play. Lakers were trying to put themselves in a position where, because they didn't have that timeout, they felt like they had to miss the shot. I actually, some people are questioning why that strategy. I don't have a problem with the strategy. If you don't have a timeout, that's okay. That's fine. That's not a big deal for them to, look at it that way. I just wasn't crazy about the position they put themselves in. And like I said, JJ Redick's got to save one of those timeouts. And it's kind of some good learning moments yesterday, right? JJ Redick had some learning moments. The team had some learning moments of trying to figure out how to play when Anthony Davis is not there. A few. Might as well pause. If I sneeze during the broadcast, I'm just going to pause. I'm going to have a cup of coffee. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. Okay. Only thing I want to see here from here moving forward is God bless you. That's all I want to see here moving forward. That's it. All right. A lot of, yeah. Bless you. Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Here we go. Thanks, guys. I'm going to sneeze, guys. Bless America instantly. I'm going to sneeze. That's just going to happen. That's going to happen. Okay. Just to kind of wrap up the Lakers game, the world's not going to end. They did lose last night, but like I said, I think the things that I took away more than anything else was the 24. They're up 26-8. They blow the lead. What to do when Anthony Davis is not in the game, what that lineup's going to look like. That is going to be up to Obviously, JJ Redick to figure out, and then just kind of end of the game situations. Even Lakers, I think they were up 7 going into the fourth quarter. So that second in the fourth quarter, they were outscored by, if you combine the second and the fourth quarter, Lakers were outscored by 22 points. That ain't going to get it done. That's not going to get it done. All right, Lakers got, next game they have is coming up tomorrow. They play the Cavs. Cavs are 4-0. So 4-0 Cavs. Just won at New York yesterday. Not a good day for New York yesterday. A lot of L's for New York yesterday. But they're 4-0. So tomorrow's going to be tough. Another tough game for the Lakers in Cleveland. They got, of the road trip left, I think there's a couple of games they have to win. You got to win Detroit and you got to win Toronto, and then split between Memphis and Cleveland, get one more win. That way you can come back 3-2 on that road trip, 6-2 total. It will kind of take a little bit of wind out of the sails if they went 2-3 on the road trip, or 1-4 or something like that, then that would certainly change things. Okay. That's all the main stuff that I wanted to get to. And it leaves me with some time here to talk about some of your stuff, to talk about any questions that you have. And then we'll also kind of wrap up the show. I got a couple other things I want to get into, just kind of some random things here. But if you got Dodger stuff that you want to talk about, bullpen game for the Dodgers tonight. Man, you know what's crazy? I heard them actually saying, they were talking about it on the broadcast yesterday. Joe Davis and John Smoltz were talking about how, look what happened to the Dodgers from the moment that they were down 2-1 in the series in the opening round. And then the next day they had a bullpen game. So you're on the road. You have a bullpen game. You don't even have an established starter that you can depend on. And who the hell would have thought that bullpen game would end up being the absolute difference of what has been kind of this turnaround for the Dodgers from that moment. It's a bullpen game today for the Dodgers as well. So for those that, you watch, anytime you watch baseball and you kind of look at, if you pay attention to it, you're like, anytime a team has a bullpen game, it sounds like a world of trouble for the opposing team. That has not been the case for the Dodgers. So that part's been a little bit different. All right, let me read a quick super here. Devil's night. LeBron played hero ball against the Kings too. The shots went in, so no one cared. Yeah, you're right about that. But if they go in, you could kind of do whatever you want. And he had a stretch there to start the fourth quarter where it was like 16 points or something like that to start the fourth quarter. The problem is, if the shots are not falling like you just mentioned, and this is only game 4 of the regular season, what's LeBron going to feel like? How are his legs going to feel in a month? That my point is that it's not sustainable. That's my point. My point is that if JJ Redick is coming to the Lakers and the idea is to really kind of implement an offense, to be smart on offense, to have a high-powered offense, that does not mean I just got my 39-year-old taking 25-foot jumpers and getting to the basket. If you're hot and you're feeling it, it's all good. If you're not, then you got to come up with something else. And I didn't really know what that plan B was for the Lakers yesterday. All right, let's see more of these comments here. Great teams don't have bullpen games. Well, listen, to be honest with you, however you want to put this, the bullpen has been just an incredible asset for the Dodgers. And the Dodgers are a great team. You know why they're a great team? Because they won 98 games this year. That's the most of any other team in Major League Baseball. You know why they're a great team? It's because they're missing a lot of their starting pitching, yet they're still here in the process of potentially winning a World Series. You don't want to know one more reason why they're a great team? They're a great team because they're about to do this with Shohei Ohtani, not 100%. Shohei is interesting. Shohei is not looking like himself. And what's crazy about it is I'm not even sure if they need put this the right way. If Shohei doesn't go 3 for 4 tonight, they can still win the game. They're not depending on one player. So maybe bullpen games are the future, only if you have a good bullpen. And everything that Dave Roberts has done so far has been incredibly perfect. I can't find, I was talking about this yesterday when we were doing the show. Somebody tell me what Dave Roberts has done wrong so far in the playoffs. And a lot of the times it just depends on, do your players come through for you or not? Um, Boone has had to make some decisions for the Yankees, and his players haven't come through. So where's the finger get pointed? He gets pointed at him, nobody else. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well. In the past, some players didn't come through for Dave Roberts, and the blame was on him, and the pressure was on him. And in this postseason, everybody's come through, and because everybody's come through, he looks like a genius out there. All right, so I went yesterday. Feel free to throw the comments in. I got a couple side stories I'm going to get into real quick. So I think I told you guys. So there's where I am, where my office is. It's in, obviously in Solana Beach. So for now, we'll see. But for now, so where I am, I'm not too far from. I was trying to go to a gym that's kind of close by and something different. I just, I don't want to ride an elliptical and whatever it is, right? I'm looking for something a little bit different. So there's a gym here right next to me called the Boxing Club. It's pretty cool. Got 3-4 locations, whatever the case is. And I at the beginning, I looked at it. I was like, well, that's kind of funny for the show. Here I am doing these. And then, I start kind of looking at it. All right, let me kind of get some details on it. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to sign a membership there. You could cancel at any time. Let me try for a month. So I go and they have boxing classes, and it's like a workout class. So, it's not like I'm in there with Holyfield, Tyson, and Lennox Lewis. These are just all people that want to get a good workout in. You wrap your hand. I'm on YouTube yesterday trying to wrap my hands. I've never wrapped my hands. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what the hell I was creating too when I was trying to wrap my hands. Okay, so the workout starts. Basically, you got a bet. Everybody has a boxing bag in front of them, and it's a lot of it is kind of a cardio session, and then part of it is boxing as well. You're basically moving around for an hour. So I'm doing the class yesterday, and you're doing things that are off the bag. You're doing burpees, and you're doing squats, and you're doing push-ups, and then you're on the bag and you're doing combinations. It's like, all right, couple jabs, a straight, throw a hook, throw an uppercut, and you're just kind of working on certain things. This guy yesterday, I thought we were training for the Navy SEALs. You ever do something and you just start laughing because you're like, A, my body has no idea what you're talking about and it can't do it. And B, are you insane? Are you crazy? And he would do this thing where he'd be like 30 seconds left. And then a minute and a half would go by. I'm like, brother, you said 30 seconds left. Or he'll say 10 more seconds. And those 10 seconds lasted 45 seconds. Guy's playing mind games with me. And then he has us on a mat. And he's telling us, we're working on our core and our abs. I'm like, brother, I don't know if you've seen my core and my abs. They can't do that. He had certain moves where he's like, okay, move your leg this way. And wrap this. I'm like, I have you met me? Let me introduce myself. My body does not do these things. It was an hour of a workout. I got demolished. It was a great workout. I mean, it's fun. I mean, sweating like crazy. But I'm just looking around, and I'm looking at the other people in this class, pretty full class. Let's say you had 15, 20 people, whatever the case. I'm looking around at everybody else. I'm like, is there anybody else about to throw up here, or is it just me? I think it was just me. Everybody else was like they're about to go 9 rounds in a boxing match. Fun class, fun to do it. I just looked like a fish out of water. I don't know what the hell was going on. I mean, listen, when I got the combination on the bags, that's different. But then you got me on a mat trying to move my body in certain directions. That wasn't going to happen. All right, let's see a couple of these comments here. Workout classes can be intense. What was going on? I literally thought, I'm like, all right, you know what this is? I know what this is. I was like, San Diego, we are known for our military. You got the Camp Pendleton here. You got the Navy over by downtown area, kind of that Point Loma area. I'm basically I'm joining the military. That's what this is. You know what they need? They need more people. This is Bud's training. That's what this is. When I'm done here, they're going to hand me my full military gear. I'm basically in the Navy SEALs by the time this is over. I figured it out as the workout was going, and I'm like, I got it. This is a tryout. This is a tryout for the Navy SEALs. Nope, not a tryout. All right, let's see what else we got here. Bring back Shadow Buzz. It never went anywhere. Still have it. All right. Ohtani just ran out of gas. That's all. He's not used to playing this long of a season. Japanese holds 144 games during his time with the Angels. Ohtani never went to the playoffs. I don't know if he ran out of gas. I think, honestly, more than anything else, I think the guy's not healthy. That's it. I think that shoulder, whatever he's dealing with, I think if Ohtani was healthy, now I know it's only been for 2 games. I know he's struggled a little bit, but the guy still finds ways to get on. He'll take a walk. He's a threat. I think Dave Roberts was saying this yesterday. He was saying just having him in the lineup changes everything. And I agree with him, whether he's 100% or not, and he's clearly not 100%. Shoulder is cooked here. All right. Give everybody just a quick idea. So tomorrow, we'll be back on at 8 a.m. We'll break down the Dodger game. We'll get you ready for the Lakers and the Cavs that are coming up. Tomorrow's going to be an early start, Lakers, Cavs. I want to say it's 4 o'clock is going to be first pitch. I have to go now. Why do I have to go? Because Tuesdays and Thursdays, we got sales calls now to do. Now I'm basically now I've told myself Tuesdays and Thursdays, we got to hit the pavement here. You know what I'm talking about? We got to hit the pavement. So I'm going to go from about, I call it 9:30, give myself a half hour to get the show up, do all this other stuff and everything else. But 9:30 to about 11, don't call me, don't text me, don't hit me on social media. We got some partnerships to go get. Okay? Got a long list here. Already kind of prepared this thing, a long list here that I got to get to. So that's all we got for today. Appreciate you guys hanging out. If you guys have yet to subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the damn channel. 8 a.m. every morning right here. I appreciate you guys hanging out and talking some sports with me. I'll get back with you guys tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.